There's a phrase from the book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dida, which I absolutely love, which is align 100% of your life to your purpose. I'll say that again. Align 100% of your life to your purpose. Once you start to figure out, okay, what is your purpose layer? You know, the current thing that we need to work on, the current mission that we need to peel back till we get to the next one and the next one and the next one. It would be the best thing that you could possibly do, aligning 100% of the decisions you make, the place you live, the foods you eat, the people you talk to this purpose layer, to peel it back. So for example, for me, I had this vision of like this fighting, you know, this rolling around, doing jiu-jitsu, being like an athlete. And so I could try and fulfill this layer of my purpose, like I was gonna say no offense, I don't want it to seem like I'm saying this is you, but like how a mediocre man may. A mediocre man would get the same visualization that I did. Okay, yeah, I'm an athlete, sweet. And what he would do is he'd sign up to a jiu-jitsu class and he'd go 5 times a week. Nice. That man is better than 90% of the population of men. 95% perhaps. And yet he's still a mediocre man. You see, once you know your purpose layer, maybe yours is studying right now, and you study for an hour a day, and then you go play some video games and everything, yeah, that means that you're barely a mediocre man. And I'm not saying this again to be insulting or anything. To be a superior man, to be like actually a masculine man who is on his purpose, we need to push closer to 100% of your life aligned to this layer of your purpose. So for example, the mediocre man would get the vision that I did and he'd start training a few hours a week. The superior man would go and live in a fight camp. The superior man, the man who's really like on this, would literally go and live amongst the fighters and the warriors and live amongst them, eat amongst them, and be revolving around this lifestyle as much as possible. When he's not training, he's eating right. When he's not training or eating right, he's speaking with other fighters and asking them questions. There's levels to how much you can dedicate to your purpose, and you can say, well, of course, we've got commitments and we can't all just like quit university or anything like this. But the more masculine you want to become, the more that you have to align to your purpose. And so this is where it gets interesting, because this is where some sacrifices need to be made. And this is actually where the life that we're going to live as young masculine men is going to be so different that we almost need like a paradigm shift. Like me and you need to discuss a different kind of lifestyle that we've never actually heard of before, because the media machine, your current beliefs and perceptions and plans of life, that they're very, very influenced by the things you've seen in like movies and by modern standards. You understand this, right? As much as we would like to be like based guys, the truth is a lot of what we perceive our lives to be and a lot of the beliefs that we have are actually made from things like Hollywood movies that we watched when we were children. And so it is normal. Think about this. Inside of our minds, even as young masculine men, inside of our minds, roughly, you'll probably agree, is this life plan that, okay, we're young, we're going to build up all these things, I'm going to get into fitness, and then I'm going to start attracting some girls, and I'm going to get into this career or this business, make up a lot of money, and I'll travel and everything. And then there'll be a point when I will then do the same thing for a very long time. I will have a family, and I will raise that family for 18 years or longer. I will find a woman, and I will be with her for 20 years or 40 years or for the rest of my life. We have this perception that good equals long-term stability, good equals no change. We have this perception that a man is supposed to build himself up to an okay level and then essentially just do the same thing for the rest of his life. That the man who settles down and has a family is winning. And surely it is, right? Family's probably the most important thing, right? Now, what if it's not? What if our perceptions of the wild man who lives a masculine life of purpose have been brainwashed and conditioned to be negative? Because I want you to imagine, just right now, imagine some random Hollywood movie or TV show that you've watched, and imagine the 40-year-old man who who eventually starts to be more masculine and discovers his purpose. How is he portrayed in these movies? This 40-year-old man who's got family and everything, he realizes his purpose here is kind of done now. He shouldn't abandon his family, but he's got something new to work on, something new that he's really starting to care about. The media portrays him as a man who's going through a midlife crisis, as a man who just doesn't know who he is anymore, and he's being a nuisance, and his wife eventually calms him down. Come on, Timmy. You're not supposed to ride motorbike. Like she's saying this to her 40-year-old husband. Come on, like, Timmy, you're going crazy. Ha! Look, everyone, he's got a motorbike because he's 40 years old and he's having a midlife crisis. Look, he wants to try this new thing and he's not so good at it. Come on, come back home. Back to normality. Back to a life of a lack of purpose and meaning. Come on. Yeah, you're at risk of killing yourself, but come on. You're a mule. You're supposed to just be a mule. Just work. Just work. Just work, provide, and then die. Don't be masculine. Don't change anything about your life. Don't be purposeful. Don't try new things. You're supposed to be a mule. Got it, Timmy? Come on, back to normality. This is what we see in the modern propaganda machine, don't we? And similarly on these movies, these TV shows, the good, standing, long-term, stable man who works the exact same job for 40 years straight and, he's really good with his family, that's seen as a really positive thing. Now, it might seem weird what I'm saying here because it might seem like Hamza's saying to not value family. No. It's not that I'm saying to devalue family. What I'm saying is to understand that your purpose, this layer that you have to fulfill, will constantly keep changing, and there will most likely be a bit like a purpose layer to have children and to raise them. But then your purpose layer will update and it will change, and there will be more that you have to do with your life, more than just being a father who pays for his children and his wife. There will be more. Now, I don't have children. I shouldn't even be able to talk about what a father should do. We can leave that to men who are way more experienced in that area. But the more that I understand and learn about purpose, the more that I'm starting to envision this life that I want you to visualize. We've thought that, build ourselves up in our 20s, have some kind of career or business that, really, really pops off and we get really successful. And then we just kind of, it's almost like a vague gray thing of like, oh yeah, and then the years will slip by really fast and we'll just keep doing the same thing, the same business, the same career for the rest of our lives till eventually we just want to retire. We probably won't want to retire because retirement's boring, so we'll just continue the same thing forever. That's how kind of our perception of things. But I want you to visualize right now, what if we chased the layer of our purpose always? What if every single time we had a new layer, we threw in 100% of our life to it? We aligned as much of our life to it. I want you to start to visualize potentially this new lifestyle where it's like you've lived so many mini lives in one, where for 2 years of your life, you were so into this one thing, like for example, becoming a fighter, and you were living in Brazil doing jiu-jitsu, or you were in Thailand learning Muay Thai every single day for 4 hours. That was your life. That was how you lived. And then when that layer of purpose was complete and it was time to get into sailing, you got into sailing and you did that for 6 months or a year till that layer of purpose was complete. And then it was time for you to learn this random language, or for you to learn about artificial intelligence, because this was the thing that now, I need to understand this. I need to understand this. And it's like you've lived multiple mini lives. And that usually is seen as a bad thing, because long-term stability of a career or a business is usually like the play, right? Long-term thinking is a good thing, right? And it would seem so weird if I told you that perhaps long-term thinking may be weirdly catastrophic for masculine men. Because this idea of, just get to a point and then do the same thing for 40 years, it defies what your purpose, most likely how your purpose is going to be working. Now, this is the point right now where you figured out your purpose layer, and you're starting to realize, I should align 100% of my life to peeling back these layers and just seeing where that would take me. To peel back the current purpose layer, it's going to require sacrifice. Mine right now seems to be based on two things. Mine is on fighting, becoming that athlete, and also very interestingly, like there's another like almost half purpose that I have, which is about investing to like stack like long-term serious investments that then retire like my family and everything, right? Those are like my two focuses. To make progress in this purpose layer, you have to sacrifice things. And that seems obvious, right? So if you're a young guy right now and your purpose, your obsession seems to be on your fitness and you really want to build like a good body, you really want to lose some weight so you can finally feel like you're like a respectable young man, that you're full of confidence, and that means so much to you. You're gonna need to sacrifice the things that you've got to get rid of. The junk food, the sleep-ins. Of course, sleep is important, but you've stayed up till 1 a.m. playing games and stuff, and now you're gonna wake up at 11 p.m. tomorrow, sleep disturbed, blue light at night time and everything. You're gonna need to sacrifice those snacks. You're gonna need to sacrifice going on like meeting your friends for lunch because you always go to unhealthy places. Adonis School is a private online community that you can join to make friends who are just like you, who are on self-improvements, who are meditating, exercising, delaying gratification, who aren't degenerates. It's the hub spot for all of the people on self-improvement. We're all in here literally doing these good habits, reading these books, having these discussions, talking about this stuff online. I'm active in there. And I think it's an exceptional place for you to just make friends who are similar to you, because a lot of my audience have told me, it's a very common experience, that when you really do start to implement the advice that I give out, naturally you have less things in common with the people that you've known already. And so it's a very common experience for young people who follow my videos who end up just getting lonely because there's no one that you can relate to. Your family don't understand you anymore, and your friends are kind of Jeffries, and you're kind of still attached to those old people who are part of the previous chapter of your life because you just don't want to be lonely right now. And so Adonis School is made for you.